Hey guys, what's going on? Druzy here, back again with another South Park Phone Destroyer video, and finally, the fourth and final Goth Kid is here, Henrietta, and she will also help Neutral be the first theme to have 4 legendary cards in the theme as a whole. So here we go, 850 base health, 36 base damage. Of course, she is a tank card, so obviously her health is going to completely outscale her damage. But she has a very unique ability that we need to talk about, and there is a lot to this ability. So after an allied Goth Kid dies, so remember there are 3 others, Pete, Michael, and Furkle, Henrietta loses 8% health to revive them. So I'm pretty sure that this does not stack as far as each time they die, Henrietta loses 8 health. But I guess we'll have to wait and see when we watch some gameplay here in a minute to see if that is actually true. But I would assume it's almost going to function like a death wish where it will only happen once. But again, we'll hopefully maybe have some verification here in some of the gameplay I'll be able to show you here in a minute. So can't die from own power and cannot be revived. So that would mean that she could not be brought back to life from something like Dar, because that would be ridiculously overpowered, because remember, she's only 5 energy cost. She also can't be brought back from what it looks like Pope Timmy. So those are the only 2 cards to my knowledge that could revive her. Obviously Call Girl has a summoning ability, but that would not affect Neutral. So those would be the only 2 cards I would think of that could revive Henrietta back to life. So that's at least a plus, that she's not going to be able to be brought back by Pope Timmy again, right? To be able to keep all of those units from coming back, because I feel like all of that stuff would be ridiculously overpowered. So those are all pluses. Let's look at her stats, however, real quick. All right, guys, so looking at her stats, we have, of course, her base health, 850, 36. At max 3, it goes up to 2,101 to 89. And at 7, it goes up to 3399 and 152. Now, if my memory serves me right, so at 5, it's 3,019 and 131. I mean, that's that's almost, but not quite in line with someone like Man Bear Pig. I think Man Bear Pig still has about 400 more health, I believe, even at max 5, or at max 4, I believe, to what Henrietta has even at max 5. Now, remember, this is a legendary card, guys, so even at max 5, yeah, that's a lot of health. But, I mean, her health bar looked much bigger than this, in my opinion, on screen. And remember, she's going to get life on hit from Pete, because anytime Pete hits someone and then she hits someone, she'd be healing. So, I mean, she has the potential to stay alive for a decent amount of time, even with the health that she has. But I'm going to be honest with you guys, the Goth Kids up until this point, to me, have been kind of disappointing. I mean, they look cool. It's great that they're in the game, but they've been kind of crappy. I'm hoping that this turns this around, but as of right now, based on what I'm seeing here, at least from the stats, from the card description, all these sound interesting, just like the previous ones kind of did, except for Furkle was kind of not as exciting, to be honest. But so far, they're not. None of them are blowing me away. So, I mean, we'll see in game how they look. But as of right now, I'm not super stoked based on what I'm seeing here. So let's just quickly look at the gameplay and see if that gives us a little bit better idea and picture of what we're dealing with here.
Are you a conformist? I can tell.
Nothing is too hard for me.
I plan to die alone.
Yeah, that's hardcore goth.
Alright, so
Do I
Furkle
look
obviously
like a
boosting
conformist?
Henrietta, and then you see Furkle immediately spawn back in per Henrietta losing it, and you saw the brief amount of health that she lost. Now remember, this is baseline stats, right? Is there some kind of...
Hardcore goth. Do I
So
look
there is
like
no
a
animation,
conformist?
no specific animation for Henrietta to resummon. So that's also a plus, that people probably will look at it and be like, well, that's not a big deal, Druzy. Well, think about it. If a card has some kind of ability where they revive something or bring something back, generally they have some kind of animation, right, that might delay the process. Henrietta doesn't have that, so that's somewhat of a nice thing here. So here's Michael, so obviously the... This will be that. Oh. Okay, well, that proved my point. She can bring back Furkle indefinitely, which means Furkle can continuously give that boost to damage.
Hardcore goth.
Careful down there.
Yeah, but that leaves her susceptible to things like rogue.
This town's going to shit.
From the looks of it, even regen wasn't I'm not 100%, but it looked like Regen.
Are you looking bonus I can pick?
Regen may have been healing her, but she was taking a decent amount of damage. She had multiple units attacking her.
Hardcore goth.
But I'm not sure if even Regen was really healing her, to be honest with you. So it definitely looks like the ideal situation for Henrietta is to play Farkle first.
Like a pain.
Obviously, then have Michael as quickly, and then have Pete be able to help with the healing here. So here we go with all four on the screen, dealing with Maxie. Michael goes down. So, okay, so Henrietta does smoke to revive her teammate from the looks of it. I think smoking is her basic attack. I apologize. So her smoking her cigarette is her basic attack, and then she just summons based on if they die or not.
This point in my life.
Her attack is pretty slow because of the animation of her doing the whole smoking aspect.
Hello, Mexican.
Yeah.
There you go, all the units getting to new kid there, doing some damage.
That's fucking it.
I mean, these cards are pretty strong as far as for friendly fights, but I mean on ladder,
I have nothing to lose in
disappointing
this
to
point
me.
in my life.
Not really as strong as you would have think they could have been.
What the hell is going on?
But definitely looks like they would work best with Mystical. I'm wondering if Regeneration and or Hallelujah, something like Hallelujah would work better with her than Regen would, to give her that instant heal back with Hallelujah to be able to allow her to stay alive longer. I feel like that would make more sense to me, assuming that healing works. I don't know, it's almost looking like Regen's not really healing her though, guys. I'm gonna be honest. It looks like the heal is more affecting Farkle and Pete there.
I plan to die alone.
Alright, going over there. Farkle, of course, attacking Randy. A lot of superhero cards here with some healing. She conformity going. I mean, I love the way they talk and all that stuff. I love the dialogue that the goth kids have in this.
That is enough for one life.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, at level 1, remember, she's only going to be at level 1 in friendly fights, so not going to be able to show her true strength or potential of strength because she's going to die much quicker.
It's my turn to express myself. Shoot.
Yeah.
Remember, the scaling of the actual health health reduction is still the same. It's always going to be 8% from the looks of it. Okay, so Regen is definitely helping her bar here, as you can see. She's also getting the healing from Pete there. Gotta love that's mid flick there, but you can see the amount of health she's kind of regenerating is pretty significant right now. So it looks like Regen definitely works on her. But again, if you're on ladder, I would definitely state and definitely feel to the fact that Hallelujah would be the better option here over Regeneration for her to give her that immediate health boost. Plus the boost she could get there from Mackie. You also wonder if someone like Bounty Hunter Kyle, remember anytime he'd kill a unit, he'd be able to heal her as well. So I mean, that's the beauty of it being a neutral card. You have a lot of potential as far as support cards you can put around these other units as well to kind of keep them alive and keep them.
Life is pain.
I have nothing to lose at this point in my life.
But you almost wonder if they're going to bring other cards into the fold other than just these 4 god kids as well, even though these are the 4 main ones, obviously. I mean, that was cool to have Henrietta bring them all back after Sam killed them all, but
I embrace death.
there you go, then Rogue Token easily cleans it up. So, I mean, there's pros and cons to this ability, not gonna lie, for Henrietta, but let's see what Leanne does to all these units.
I can tell.
So obviously she can be transmog. She can be transformed. I mean, we knew that. She's not immune because that's an ability. She would be immune to the spell as long as Michael was alive. So if someone tried to transmog her, it wouldn't work as long as Michael's on the field. But if even with Michael on the field, she can still be taken over by Leanne's ability. Because Leanne's, that's basically her death wish. So that's an ability that does not count as them not being affected because Michael's on the field. In case you guys forgot about that aspect. But yeah, DSR obviously going to be an easy way to deal with her. So there's definitely a lot of counter ability that could be done to her. Obviously, she's going to have to work with some of these other cards as well. But you know, I'm intrigued, but at the same time, you know, I think that we're just going to have to wait and see. I think ladder's going to be the ultimate determination here as far as Henrietta's worth. I think she could be valuable in Team Wars. I think she could be valuable down the road, hopefully not right away. And I feel like she could be valuable in maybe Chaos Mode, even though Chaos Mode kind of sucks right now. But, like, I get that she seemed to be decently designed for friendly fights. We'll see how she functions in ladder. But there we go, guys. We got all 4 Goth Kids finally in the game, or will be once this weekend event starts. That's when Henrietta will come out, is this weekend. So we look forward to that when that happens. But yeah, we got a sneak peek now here of Henrietta. So now we know what all 4 do. We know what all 4 look like in game. And hopefully it turns out to be more exciting than I feel like I am right now. I feel like I've just been let down so far with the other 3 Goth Kids that I feel like this one could do the same thing, to be honest with you guys. Hopefully that's not the case. I mean, she's, you know, 5 energy costs. That's pretty cheap for it. That's, you know, a standard, relatively cheap for a tank. I mean, obviously Zen Carmen's 3, but you know, she's got a unique ability. They all got unique things to add to things, and it's going to be unique since they're all 4 neutral, that you can make a bunch of different deck combinations with them. So what kind of decks do you think would work best around Henrietta? Do you agree, disagree with, you know, some of the suggestions I've made? And then what will you be running when you get all 4 of these cards to hopefully decent levels, some, you know, relatively quickly? What cards would you be pairing with them to make them the most effective? But there we go. All 4 Goth Kids will be in game soon. You now have seen all of them in some gameplay footage. But that's going to do it for this video here today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And until next time, guys, my name is Druzy.